Welcome to Intentionally Unintelligent.
And here we go, everybody. Welcome back to episode 3 of Intentionally Unintelligent. Today we have New Utrecht football alumni sitting here at the table. We got Coach Adam and we got Coach Sears.
Yo, fellas, how's it going?
What's going on, fellas? I can hear the giddiness from the other side of the table. Yeah.
This is how it is every day.
Yeah, that's nice, man. We got the green and white set up for you guys and everything, man.
Man.
I appreciate you guys coming by, man.
appreciate
Me and
having us.
Angelo have been talking a lot about what we were going to talk about, but I feel like the stories are seamless and they're endless. You know, the impact that you have on so many young people's lives is second to none. Mm-hmm. Just give us a little bit of insight on your football background, both of you. Coach Adam, I'm going to start with you. A little bit of where you played, where your career went.
All right, so obviously I played for Utrecht. Then I went to ECC to play with there, but it didn't really pan out, and it stopped there. And then once I got done with that, came back here and started coaching since 2008.
Yeah, you've been here for a minute. You came in a year after I came in? That was your first?
That was my second year.
Wow. All right, there we go.
And who reached out to you as far as becoming a coach? Was this something you were interested in?
No, it was always something. So you know what happened was I went to New Utrecht versus Tottenville in 2007. Mm-hmm. It was like the second round of playoffs it was.
Frankie Sinagra.
Yes.
He was quarterback.
So I was in the stands. Mm-hmm. I was like, I don't want to be here. This is not where I want to be.
Yeah.
The next year, Balkan, they had practice. I went over there and I was like, Balkan, I want to coach. He's like, no problem. And ever since, I've been coaching ever since.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Sears, what about you? Because I check out your Instagram, and you played professionally overseas, right?
Yeah.
Where at?
I was overseas in Germany. I got more interesting background. Than
Whatever.
Yeah.
I have a very good background, right?
Yeah, but my story is kind of like most of the youth kids that kind of are pushed into football and that want to really take it to another level. So I think I just had a basic football story. So it's like I played Skyhawks growing up, Parade Ground in Flatbush, Brooklyn. From there, came to New Utrecht, played at New Utrecht, and then I had a little turmoil in my college career. Didn't play my freshman year. Went to Virginia Union, ended up transferring to Buffalo.
You played D1.
Yeah, I ended up going to the University of Buffalo, played Division I. So did my time there, and thought about not playing football, hanging it up, and then got an opportunity to play overseas in 2010. And yeah, I'm showing my age. So yeah, from there I got an opportunity for about 10 years until COVID. I was back and forth playing football and kind of while doing that was coaching too. So that's why y'all seen me at the school. I was coaching at Utrecht. First coaching opportunity was 2008 at Globe Institute Technology, junior college. And then the next year I came back to Utrecht, and then 2014.
Yeah, took you over to 2014.
2014, I took over back at JV coach at Utrecht, and then kind of just I just kind of got along. Yeah, it's a long-winded story of just trying to do something, doing your path, and just having fun.
You know what the most interesting thing about New Utrecht was, the football program, is that not everybody walked in there an athlete. Not everybody walked in there a football player.
Definitely not.
Schools like Tottenville, schools like Lincoln, Erasmus Hall, Thomas Jefferson, kids walked into those schools and they were outstanding athletes. They already had people from the Skyhawks that they recruited and people from Jersey and whatever. And Utrecht didn't have that. So it was really your job as junior varsity coaches to form those kids that walk in there into actual football players. And it was a 4-year process when it came to me, and it was a 4-year process when it came to a kid like Devin Collins. He did play beforehand, but like just shaping him into that crazy athlete that he actually became, which is impressive. I don't know like where you guys picked up those coaching skills, because from front to back, that whole staff does not get the recognition that they deserve. From Coach Balkan to Coach Feverine to Coach Matone to you guys, there was just from front to back, and all the people that gave back to the program. My question to you guys is, where did you learn those coaching skills? Because those are serious, and you guys coached me, and
you think
were
it's
outstanding.
something that came more like natural, or is it something that you kind of like, just like football, you kind of picked up over the years?
If I want to give big credit to Coach Feverine, he's the new head coach at New Utrecht as a varsity head coach. I think even just giving him his flowers too. I think that's the first black African American coach in the Utrecht history too.
It's big time.
So I think
Huge.
as crazy as it sounds in 2024, but I want to give him a lot of credit because when he came back into the program, whenever he did after he was playing arena football and everything, I think that he did a lot in terms of influence Coach Boken in terms of like how the program should be ran and giving those kids, those student athletes, an opportunity to go to college and have everything in order the way that they need to. It's a lot on a high school coach, especially if you don't got a lot of help. Like if there's nobody helping, because if everybody know in public school, there's only 3 paid coaches. So outside of that, the public school athletically don't really care.
And they put the money back into the program.
Yeah,
a lot of it. You know what I mean? Like they don't profit off this shit at all. It's for the pride.
So a lot of it is if you don't got coaches and people that want to facilitate back into the program, it's a struggle. So having a Coach Wendell was a big plus to Coach Boken at that time, and I think that's a big, tremendous help that made everything go. So knowing his background, he played in that PACE Division II and just following that college structure and kind of somewhat of the structure outside of the states and like different states of how high school is ran.
Yeah.
And it's done at the head coach, the other coaches are facilitating recruiting and helping the kids and stuff like that. I think Coach Wendell brought that to the table at Utrecht, and I think it's just now a person like me coming in and seeing that at Division I level when I was at Buffalo and being able to understand that. Yeah. It just helped. It just helped to have those type of people to set that foundation, and then somebody like me, Adam, understanding that, other coaches understanding that they're coming through the line, and just being able to facilitate that for y'all. So like even piggybacking on what you was talking about, 90% of the kids that come to the Utrecht don't play football before they get there.
No experience.
Like no experience. So like for me, I know Coach Wendell, we talk about it, like that's a joy for me because being a skilled athlete, being a person that has played football for so long and being able to give back and watch a kid go from not having no ability to having ability, that talks about my coaching and my ability to get something done. So like I take that as a great challenge and I take that as a great reward to see a kid now become something.
Yeah.
Like so that's why like I'm glad that you say that. Like we don't pat ourselves on the back, but we sit there and we talk about like, yo, we do our jobs. And
it's a 4-year process.
Yeah, we do our jobs.
It's a 4-year process. I have a story actually with me and Devin Collins. So we were sophomores. It was our first year on varsity, right? And we were playing Erasmus Hall campus. Now, there was a kid on Erasmus Hall campus that year. His name is Curtis Samuel. If anybody knows the name Curtis Samuel's in the NFL. He's been on multiple teams, right?
That's my boy right there.
So that game, it was the very end of the game. We were head-to-head with E-Hall. We still had Jordan Paul at quarterback. We had Devin's brother in the backfield.
Oh, you was at the game at Utrecht?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah.
Curtis Samuel beat Devin out on a route, won the game, caught the ball, whatever, we lost. I messed up on a block that game. Jordan was supposed to roll out to the outside pocket. Jordan was supposed to throw the ball to the end zone. I forgot who the receiver was. I think it was Terrence Chilius, right? Fucked up the whole block. Devin messed up the whole defensive coverage. And I remember Coach Balkin and Coach Feverine walked up to us like, this shit is never going to happen to you again. Now talking about the future, playing Grand Street campus my senior year, right? We were 2-0 at this time.
Every time with that game, man.
Right?
That's
Devin
Cushaball.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Yes.
So I remember on a pass block, I just remember I pulled exactly how I was supposed to pull, and then Ryan Witherspoon jumped up in the pocket, threw the ball down the field. Devin Collins, one-handed football grab, 3-0. Caught it for the overtime win. Now, like, that is because they put in the time and effort into us as football players and saying that shit is never going to happen to you again and proceeded to be consistent for 3 years.
Yeah.
3 seasons, 3 off seasons, regular seasons, and forming us into those ball players just to have that senior year winning season. And then when we lost in the playoffs, I think we were 6-3. That was the Hurricane year, like that moment that you have when it's all over. Because I played college football myself, and I never had what I had in Utrecht football.
You never will.
You'll never.
It's crazy too. You said that because Matone said that to me my junior year.
Yeah.
We were getting ready to play for Hamilton, and he was like, guys, take this in because when you go to college, it's not going to be the same.
It's not.
It's different.
You could probably vibe with that too,
get it.
Sears. You played pro. So I mean
when I've truly felt it was when I think the coaching aspect of it though, like that camaraderie I have with these guys, Coach Boken, Coach Wendell, it's a real brotherhood. We kind of we pushed that whole family aspect, but I think the coaching aspect was where I kind of really felt the dynamic of you don't really get that high school feeling like anywhere else, or you don't get that often.
Because you're playing for the pride. You're playing for the pride of the game. You're not playing for money. You're not playing to go to the NFL. You're playing to, for your brothers. In New Utrecht, opposed to any other high school, and I played at a lot of different places, especially in college, there was no field like we had. And in Bensonhurst, that's, this podcast is a big pride on Bensonhurst podcast. And like we were in the middle of that shit is in the middle of the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Everybody's surrounded by it.
The field,
I got
the field is
cage.
So
the field is beautiful.
So we the originators of that field.
Yeah.
So my senior year was the year that they got the field. They did the construction, did the whole field. We got the first. We won the first game. My senior year, we won the first game on the field. South Shore, and all that. So even to that, it's like I still kind of like in full circle that I'm like played there. Now I'm coaching and I'm doing all that. It's like full circle, So it's like it's unique that all that kind of just happens. And it's like kind of crazy.
I've been a part of 3 fields.
Dust Bowl, regular, now Friday Night Lights.
Dirt to regular to now like this one.
That's the one thing that I'm a little pissed that me and him didn't have. We didn't have those Friday Night Lights, boy. Oh my God!
How you think we feel?
God damn!
Yeah,
They got black uniforms now, black helmets. You know how long I've been telling Bolton to get the helmets in black.
The
we missed that too.
uniforms
We
look
missed it, but
sick.
we missed that too.
Because we used to only Friday Night Lights we got was against Lincoln, and they used to
Let me
beat
tell
our
you
ass.
something.
You know what I'm saying?
Back in the day, though, they used to put the last names on the back of the jersey.
That was
Because my brother has some sick jerseys with his name on it.
they were-
Those are the
they were
old
back.
school jerseys. I love those jerseys.
Yeah,
I
but
grew up-
now we take the jerseys back. they don't get to keep them now, so we take them back now.
I remember that. That was my senior year too.
But now they're stitched and they're on the armor.
But those are. Oh yeah.
What are they doing now?
When did my brother? Did you play with my brother? 05, right?
That's when he tore his ACL that year.
I was. Your brother played with me in 02. No. 05. He graduated 05.
He played a full season with me, but I think your senior season that's when he tore his ACL.
It's tore his ACL.
He tore his ACL, yeah.
Against Curtis. We was playing against Curtis. That's against Sharon Gutter, God rest his soul, and
I heard that name.
he was a talent. I've been around the PSAL for a very long time. My brother played at Lincoln back in the early '90s when Lincoln was a powerhouse. So I've seen some ballers. Frankie Sinclair, if you've never heard of him, that's one of the best running backs that played in the PSAL. I seen some talent. Stephen Gregory, Leon Williams. I played against Leon. Leon Williams played at the Skyhawks with me. So some dudes that have, had names in New York City from back in the early '90s. I watched them play.
A lot of NFL players came out of the PSAL. Dominic Easley, I know Kurt.
I remember the first time I ever seen Easley. We this was 2008. We was at Curtis, and Coach Wendell called the ISO, and I've never seen a kid take on the guard. Take on the center, jack up our fullback, and knock our running back out and cause a fumble. And that's when I sat there and I was like, that kid is an NFL kid. That kid is a problem, yo. Like that's a cool little it's cool to see. There was a kid at Boys and Girls, Wilby. He went to UConn. Like to see those kids actually grow in the city and perform in the college level is actually
it's dope
cool
because
now.
they came
it's
from
cool now to see
they
it.
came from nothing. A lot of us came from nothing, and to reach that level from the public school athletic league, you know what I mean?
You got to think. I mean, I know I bring him back up again, but Curtis Samuel plays in the NFL. Like he's
legit $100 million man.
He's a number one wide receiver.
I missed his era. I was in college when he was
you were coaching.
When he was in high school. I was still in college, or I was just finishing up, or I just started Europe. So I missed when he. No. I was still in college. So that's when I missed him in high school. But I heard about him in high school. I heard he was a problem.
He was a deep problem. He was a problem.
I don't think the PSAL gets enough credit when it comes to football.
It's weird because you have your powerhouse schools and stuff like that, but then you also have your very mid-tier schools. Like I remember my senior year, we had played Thomas Jefferson. They had a monster team that year. They had that kid Ebenezer Ogundeco, Speedy.
Yeah, Speedy.
Kid that went to Clemson.
But then we played I forgot the name, John Adams. and then we just stomped them, you know, like just destroyed these kids. So like it's not a consistent level of talent across the board sometimes, but you do have your powerhouses.
Oh,
and
yeah,
the
yeah,
Utrecht was always like, when I was there teetering, and then my senior year, it's like, oh shit, we finally made it. We finally made it to the top of the tier, you know? So like that's because it's hard out there. You guys aren't recruiting players and shit.
That also goes credit to you guys because you guys actually sat there and took the coaching, took what we were giving you and applied it to the field.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's not good when you coach for so long and a kid just don't get it. And you saw second guessing yourself like, is that because of me? Like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
It's probably
You know
because
what I
they
mean?
don't care.
They don't
and have
care
that
enough
passion.
and-
to
So,
play
like,
football,
listen,
yeah.
I was on the JV, been on the JV coaching. I've had a lot of rough years from 08 and up until 2014 when he took over.
Why is that?
I'm not getting into that.
Wait, see, is he the head coach for JV now?
So with Wendell moving up, I moved up to the varsity assistant coach.
What are you, offensive coordinator?
Defensive coordinator.
Sick.
So I'm an assistant varsity coach. Defensive coach. So that's cool. We got another JV coach, but kind of the great thing about our program is we kind of keep it in the family, like I say. So Coach Alado, he played in the program. He's working in school, right so there. he's the JV coach right now. So that's the cool thing. Like we allow and everybody that's a former player that has time and that wants to come back and help. That's a great thing about it.
It is. I always see a lot of kids that I play with try to return. It's hard to sustain if you have a career and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and whatever.
If you're not trying to be in the education system, it's hard to kind of coach.
Because there's more that comes to just football. It's you got to go to class. You got to stay off the street. There's a bunch of things. You're really like tending to these kids' lives. I remember I got caught smoking pot like my senior year, and Coach Balkan like beat my ass. You know what I mean? A little sidebar though. We have my sister Jamie here right now. I know how Joe Rogan has Jamie. We have my sister Jamie. She's here to answer any questions.
Shout out to Jamie.
Jamie's in the middle right now on audio. Jamie, say hello.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah, we're happy to have Jamie
here.
right now.
Thank
Yeah, we
you
got
for
right into
having
this.
me.
I wanted to shout her out in the beginning.
I know you forgot about me.
We appreciate
little
you.
sister?
That's my little sister right there.
See, that's why you got forgotten.
Yep,
Bigger brother
100%.
forgot about you.
Yeah. It's not right, but I appreciate you. For real. Jamie, first question we got to ask you is what NFL players came out of the PSAL, and then just list them
That's
off.
it, Jamie. Let's
But
go.
we got some time.
Oh, that's a good one.
It is.
That's
You know,
that is a
Bernard
good
King went to Fort Hamilton? You know that?
I know that.
Yeah, Bernard
I
King
know
went to
that.
Fort. Who else do we know off the top? Marbury, Telfair, Lance Stevenson.
Lincoln.
Lane
yeah,
Stevenson
Lincoln,
went to
yeah.
Sethlo.
Yeah, he went to Sethlo. That's right.
Coda actually
went to Sethlo.
He went to
and then
Sethlo,
Lincoln.
and then
He
he went
didn't
to
play in
Lincoln.
the NBA, but he went to North Carolina. He went to Utrecht, and then he transferred to Tilden. That's it. So I know that from my basketball days. I played basketball in high school too.
He'd rather play basketball than football.
Yeah.
Don't let him fool you.
Yeah,
Don't let him fool you. Do not let him fool
The
you.
great story. Great story.
Right?
I enjoy watching basketball more than I do football.
No, that's a crazy.
You're
statement.
out of your
That
mind.
is the.
Yeah, I'm the biggest
Yeah, I
Knicks
just
fan
got
there
into
is.
a big
Understand how
argument
excited
with
I am
somebody
for the
over
week
that.
You
one.
have
Basketball.
no idea.
Yo,
Listen, we start
Aight,
on Sunday.
Hold on.
You know
So
been waiting
before
for
y'all
that?
even go to that, so I got into a debate with somebody over the moment that Steph Curry just had in the Olympics, right?
Okay.
And my boy Lab, he don't like basketball, so he was going hard like these prima donnas and all that. I was just like, yo, bro. As a basketball fan, did you not just enjoy that moment? The dude just hit four threes
in a row.
and
Absolutely.
and shut the game down. Like that's a skill, bro.
Hold on,
Absolutely.
we got the PSAL in, so let's hear it.
So we have Rashad Coward. He plays for the Chicago Bears, and he played for Sheepshead Bay High School.
Oh shit.
We have Dominic Easley. He plays for the Los Angeles Rams. He came from Curtis High School. Curtis Samuel. He comes from Erasmus Hall. He plays for the Carolina Panthers.
Buffalo Bills now.
Buffalo Bills, yeah.
Number one.
Oh, yeah, Buffalo Bills.
I got him on my fantasy team. This year. I think he's gonna be a beast.
Yeah,
Well,
he got
hopefully
moved,
to reach him and he knows to get you some points.
He's gonna be a beast this year.
Is that it for football?
I believe that's it. That's
the
all
fuck
I'm
outta here.
seeing right
Rashad
now.
Coward. What year was that? That name sounds
I
familiar.
don't know. That's
Oh.
Rashad Coward.
That-
You know who else plays in the NFL?
whatchamacallit for Titus he plays for Indianapolis Colts. He came from Sheepshead Bay.
That's another one. My senior year, there was a dude from Beach Channel. I forgot his last name though. He's a D end, but he's in the NFL. He's actually, I think he's on the Jets.
I think I know you're talking about.
He played for Beach Channel. He was a monster.
What was he doing at Beach Channel?
Yeah, for
Jamie,
real.
look that up. Beach Channel
You'd be
NFL player.
surprised. You'd be
Listen,
surprised.
Nah,
man.
I know,
You'd be
I know.
surprised
It's
or
just-
something. There was a kid
we
at
don't
John
get the lucky
Adams when
one.
we was in high school. There was a lineman at John Adams that went to Syracuse. That was a big time recruit. I remember that.
Yo, my first game on varsity, they think they're fucking funny. So they what is it?
Kelvin Beachum Jr., I hope I'm pronouncing that right. He was drafted by the Pittsburgh Steelers in the 7th round of the 2012 NFL Draft.
There we go. There's your answer.
From Beach Channel?
That sounds familiar.
What's his name?
Kelvin Beachum Jr.
That's why he went to Beach Channel.
I fucking love him right there. This is amazing, bro. But I remember I got brought up to varsity my sophomore year, and I wasn't big. And then I was playing alongside. It was Sergio, remember Sergio, Maurice, Troy Baldwin, and the right tackle was I don't remember that kid Ronnie maybe. Big dude.
Ronnie Barrow?
No,
Ronnie Barrow.
Ronnie Barrow was a
I went against this kid named Ivan Foy. He went to Fort Hamilton. He was a defensive
Foy.
tackle.
I know.
Yep.
Syracuse too.
Yeah.
I was gonna say Ivan Foy went to Syracuse.
I didn't know what to
Big
do.
dude.
This kid was like 6'6". I was like 5. I don't even know what I was back then. Short, chubby. I just tried cut blocking him the whole game to the point where he knew about it. I was like, cut. He's like, yo, he's cut blocking him.
Yeah,
I was like
you know
rolling
what?
into the second.
You know who was one of watching a lot of New Utrecht games? He wasn't a little guy, but he was small. He played center sophomore year. What's his name? Fitzgibbons.
John Fitzgibbons.
That's right.
He was
did.
a tough as
He did.
fucking nails. That kid.
He did.
He wasn't big. He played center. He played against monsters. Like the D tackles would like mountain over him.
Yeah.
And the line didn't make sense. That was like when I was on the line. Like it would be like 4 big dudes and then
him.
Fitz. You know?
Yeah, it fits right in the middle.
Yeah. I
But he was
wonder
tough.
why he didn't play the next year.
But he hurt himself. Remember, he had a big. Didn't he? He tore something at practice.
Yo, speaking of injuries, were you there
Chris
at camp?
Long.
Yo, I was at Camp Pontiac, son. I don't know if you were there, bro.
That's a tough injury to look
We
at.
were doing line drills, and it was not nutcrackers, but just we used to do a drill. We would just run into each other, and
That's old school.
and then somebody landed on Chris's leg. And then I looked down, and Chris was like a funny dude. Like I thought he was just like making a joke because he went against Troy. And then
His leg was backwards.
his leg was behind him. And I
leg
never
was
seen some
backwards.
gruesome injury like that shit in my whole life,
What year
bro.
was the?
That 2000
I ain't
and
gonna front. I saw that injury, and that made me say,
You question it a little bit.
I said, you know
100%.
what? I'm not even here to go anywhere far. I said, I just wanted
Like Biggie
to have
said,
a good
I
time.
ain't trying to have no ruptured spleens and stuff.
Yeah.
Coach
said,
yelling
after
at
I
me.
saw that
That's
one,
why
I said,
some people don't got the stomach for that.
might be it for me. I said,
if I
maybe
rupture
I'll play.
my leg like that, I don't know, bro. I don't know.
I would say definitely second guess it.
Yo, and then I relived it. I went up to college at Morrisville, and then here I go again. I'm the smallest guy in the fucking town, and like the guy ahead of me was 10 times bigger. You know, I played punt return.
Big injuries.
I was just always good at running into people. That was my specialty. You know, head down, CTE all day long.
I'll take 1,000 of those right now.
Nobody wants to hit no more, right? Nobody wants to hit.
No, they don't want to fly up. They don't want to do anything.
What's the current state of the program? Like, are you guys good this next upcoming season? We got some talent coming. I heard you guys are in a Power 3 now.
Nah.
We went back up to 5?
Still in the top division.
Because we dropped for a little bit, right? There was a time period where
Yeah.
That was when the PSAL was doing their switching of conferences and everything. We're back in the top division. This year we're gonna be very young. Program is very young. State of the program is kind of in the sense of the demographic that's kind of happening in the neighborhood, in a sense, and the way that the school structure is.
demographic Bensonhurst.
Bensonhurst.
Yeah.
So the Bensonhurst has changed.
Did you guys recruit maybe from other neighborhoods? 'Cause
We've been in the process of doing some type of recruiting and facilitating that. The only problem is the public school has a certain type of way where schools are allowed to kind of structure how their enrollment kind of works, and Utrecht has a kind of difficult enrollment.
Is it still zoning?
It's a lot of
Yeah,
zoning.
it's
So
zoning,
with that,
right?
so with the change of the neighborhood, we are getting way more zoned kids because the kids are not leaving the neighborhood in that area, and so that creates now where outside kids trying to come in creates the numbers being very small, the ratio being very small. So if a kid doesn't want to be in New Utrecht and doesn't, how they have the old school applications, you get a school first choice, second choice, or whatever. If a kid is not saying from an outside zone, I want to be in New Utrecht and really want to, and don't put us 1, 2, 3 on the list,
You ain't getting that.
they ain't getting in.
It's such a legacy program because like we got lucky for like 8 years, right, or 12. We had Dion, Devon, and Devin. So that was a legacy family that we got. They wanted to go to Utrecht. You know what I mean? The Collins
Collins,
family.
yeah.
Bred football, bro.
We had a lot of legacy ball players during my time. You know,
Yeah, there was a lot of guys. A lot of guys. I feel like back in the day also was a lot different than what it is now. Just, you know, the pride of the program and stuff like that. I was telling him before you guys got here, when my brother played football, so in that 05 year, first of all, I don't know if it's the size of the kids back then to the kids now.
Yo, it doesn't even listen to me.
My brother was a monster.
My freshman year, okay? I'm going in there. All I'm seeing is linemen like 6'6", 350.
Where are all these kids?
I wish they were. They're playing. They're just not playing for us.
They're just fighting between if they're basketball players or if their mothers feel like football is too rough of a sport. So you're fighting a world demographic and social demographic on type of. So their kids are there. They just don't want to play football. And the big kids that are playing football in the little league, they're going to the top high schools. If they play football, they have a path.
They're looking at
Lincoln and
Erasmus
They're not wasting their
Hall.
time to go to some average or mediocre school that they feel is not going to do something for them. So, like we talked about earlier, if kids don't know, or if kids don't pass the word and say, hey, this coaching staff, outside of what's going on, probably record-wise, is legit, and put the dynamic of what New Utrecht is now, an academic school, where's all these parents that advocate, I want this student athlete, I want this academic school structure that I want. So if you're doing your research, you would know, hey, New Utrecht is a highly academic school now. The football program, it just needs a few kids to come in there and kind of, and guess what? Because there's no numbers like that, your kid is playing. Your kid is getting film. Your kid is getting work. Your kid is getting, if you come to our weight room, we probably have one of the top weight rooms in the PSAL, City. So, like,
It was nice when
we got to, we're set up. It's just how much do people do the research and find out about stuff or advocate to say, hey, I really want my kid to go to this school and really be around a quality coaching staff and be around.
Yeah, so what breaks that cycle? What stops the cycle and makes some type of change where people are going to say, all right, you know what, maybe New Utrecht is for me. Let me try. What could there possibly to be done?
I think that what's going on right now in the right now is heavy. A lot of dudes are, because of social media, not even social media, but social sports. Like how y'all having your podcast, everybody, how sports is now becoming
Streaming.
Streaming now. It's not a more corporate thing. Right now they have something, City Sports Grind. That's Jeff Legree, former PSAL player from Fort Hamilton.
That's right.
He's doing that. And then there's another one, the Sage Network. They have something. They started doing some coaching corner. So there just needs to be more exposure. I thought a cool thing that would have been if somebody piggybacked off, even though I shouldn't be saying this, I'll probably be giving somebody an idea.
You probably are.
I thought News 12 should have took ownership like how MSG back in the day with Mike Quick used to do and have the high school corner. I thought News 12, since they do local news, they should have just made a local high school segment and just help the exposure for New York City. And if they would have ran rampant with that, I think New York City now, just like when I be going, you ever go to like VA, go to these other states, if you ever watch Friday night, the high school section on the local news,
the town is closed.
It's an hour section. They talking about the kids, highlighting the kids, they highlighting the programs. It's like, why is it this so hard for a big city like New York City to have that type of exposure for kids?
It's probably funding. I mean, New York.
Ain't no funding. New York City ain't got no problem.
Yeah, but they say they do. They say they do.
It's the truth.
They just don't want to put any time. I mean, like you said, everything's online. That's a goddamn shame. I mean, if there's something that we could clip from this podcast, like New Utrecht football was the best experience of my life by far, from coaching to the experiences with the players. They're still brothers of mine. They're still friends. That's how me and him met. And look at us now.
But I don't know if you remember your freshman year. I was during Hell Week, and I said, look around, because the people you playing with are probably going to be your best friends for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
And everybody else, they'll be coming in and out, but after that,
do you remember exactly how we got? You didn't like him in the beginning.
I didn't like this.
Yeah, it took him a little bit.
I didn't like him neither.
I didn't like him.
I've been stuck with him ever since.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I mean? So, like,
You know why? Because I was a prima donna.
he was a fucking quarterback. He thought he was the fucking shit. Like,
And then there was a misconception. I believe that I just I was LeBron in my dime. So I was playing too
We definitely did not.
In 20 years, I could say I won 4 championships and I was the best football player in the whole goddamn city. Nobody's even gonna know. Do you know how many you got close that we went against each other in that drill? He lined us up actually,
He
and then
always
me and
did
you
some-
ran into each other head to head.
I hate. Listen,
You were a nut.
Adam,
bro.
I like you.
I'm
now.
not like that now,
Adam,
but
I
I'm-
like you now, bro. But back in the day, I hated
You
you,
were
bro. I
nuts.
ain't gonna lie.
Listen, take a number.
It was
That's what it was.
But it was tough love. It was. I feel like
Listen,
it was tough love. He
Was I
always
tough
had
on you
a-
guys?
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
But who was always joking with you guys?
Yeah.
Who was always messing around with you guys?
You
know what I mean?
Understand where you used to just punch
Coaches
me
know
like
how
underneath the thing.
I was
It
allowed,
you know what,
but
it
I was
prepped
allowed
me.
to though.
man.
Yeah, right beneath the shoulder pad. Yeah,
Right
yeah, yeah.
underneath, like you knew where nothing was covering.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate when he did that.
It
to
prepped me for life to handle stress in like certain situations, as crazy as that sounds. You know what I mean? You're in the fourth quarter of a game, everything's riding on it, and then you got Coach Matone and Balkan just yelling at you, and you know, like it's if you don't perform, you're not going to win. And you know, it's that I take that with me into life nowadays a little bit more. It's just I kind of tie it back. Like your football is like life.
It's discipline.
You got to fight every inch. Even with this podcast, it's like brick by brick every second. It's like stay consistent, fundamentals. You know, like everything that you could tie anything into the game of football.
Right. Listen, it doesn't just stop after 4 years. It's something that you carry on for life. You know what I'm saying? So, like we laid the foundation, and it's for you to go which way you want to go, essentially.
At the end of the day, exactly. You could lay the foundation. You can't force a kid to want to play and,
No.
and have that passion to play football. And you know,
It's probably a lot harder now.
it's probably a lot harder.
Because back then we didn't really have like all this shit that you
Kids
have.
ain't playing in the streets. Kids ain't outside.
You ask these kids now if they're playing Madden, right? None of them are gonna raise their
They
hand.
don't even.
Yeah.
They don't even know what Madden is.
They don't even go outside. If you ask the average parent if they letting their kid outside in the street, and
No.
unless the kid is just has a hard life. I mean, these kids ain't outside.
No, they're not outside. They're not going to the feast. They're not hanging out playing football outside in the streets.
They're not outside of Dolly's
no,
on the train
they're not-
station.
no,
for-
not
Smoking
for-
Newports, baby.
Yeah.
Hot dog buns.
Those are just the rough. Those are the rough end kids. Those are the kids. That, I'm telling you, nowadays,
it's true. It's true.
It's not hard to separate the kids nowadays. The kids that
tell.
just want to be knuckleheads and just have a hard life, or just have a hard life, and the kids that are actually in a good parent home, and you see it. It's just, I think a lot of parents. The parents nowadays, I just
Yeah,
feel,
it's-
I feel
it is a lot of the
It's a
parents.
different.
It is
It's
a lot
a
of the
difference in parenting now, and I just think the dynamic, and this may get me in trouble. Oh well, like,
Whatever it is, what it is.
but
Speak up, man.
I just think that a lot of parents are just happy with this social norm of I want to be the cool parent. I just want to kind of live my life and be happy, and just as long as my kids are, good in whatever way good is there for them, then that's what it is. And there's no ethics in, bringing my kid up the right way and making sure that my kid is respecting adults, and it's a whole individual idea.
They're trying to be
And-
their kids' friends,
Yeah.
rather than
They're trying to be
their
a best friend.
parent, which is a big
It
difference.
is different.
It is.
It's a
100%
village.
different.
It takes a village to raise a kid, and everybody is like, nah, you can't help raise my kid. I know what to do, but it's like you gotta find some type of understanding when you're not around and your eyes are not seeing what your kid is doing, but somebody else is like reprimanding that.
Yeah.
It's like you can't be mad that they're doing that. You can't say, oh nah, that's what happened.
You're with these
Like,
kids
trust-
more than their
trust
parents.
trust with the parent. Trust what the other person
We
is
do.
saying.
We probably sometimes do more than their parents. To be honest,
I think so. I think so.
like
It's glorified babysitting.
It
now.
is.
That's
It
what I
re- no,
call.
it is.
I call.
At
Where
this
I work
point,
in
it
the
is.
school system. It's glorified babysitting nowadays. It's high paid job of babysitting nowadays. That's what you're doing.
Oh, true.
you know how many parents didn't like me because of how I was treating their kids? Well, it wasn't because I was trying to be a dick. It was just because I was passionate for what I was doing, passionate for the game.
Yeah.
And I was the way they Balkan and Matone coached me.
You took that.
I
with-
took it. I'm going to coach you guys the same way because it's going to lead wherever it leads to in life.
And
It's
also, you're a
not-
line coach,
Yeah.
so you gotta that
You're
you're
in the
hitting
trenches.
You're hitting
You're in
every
the
play.
trenches.
There's nothing more I love than being on that goddamn offensive
It's
line.
it's
the
a
best.
dynamic of mindset.
Yeah.
It's a coach that has to have a certain type of mindset with a bunch of kids to play a certain type of way.
Patience.
Yeah, patience, but you gotta instill a certain type of violence and a certain type of anger in certain type of kids to.
Can't be out there lollygagging
Yeah,
like everything.
that's
is
the
all right.
that's the one thing about
This-
I think somebody said that before. It's like when you really think about a sport like football, and I do understand that dynamic. how you coach a kid in the sense of you're talking down, you're not talking down, but you're talking to this kid to motivate this kid.
Yeah.
But you're motivating this kid to bring out an anger and bring out a violence in him to play this sport. And people be like, now, does that dynamic relate to off the field? We talk about life, right? Football relates to life and all that. Now, are you bringing out this other side of this Jekyll and Hyde type of dynamic of this kid out in the real world? So now when he gets pissed off at somebody in the real world, does that anger now come out because you're bringing that anger out of him on the football field? So you guys sometimes think how you psychologically are coaching sometimes now as
Trying
a
to
coach.
find the middle
now,
ground,
like
yeah.
you can't be that transactional coach back in the day. You got to be a transformative coach nowadays. And you got to understand, how can I now do that? But now when we get off the field, yo, bro, I hope you
of course.
I hope everything's good in life, and I
Right.
hope you know how to that's the part of coaching that you still got to understand. A lot of people, I don't think, understand that. And that was back in the day type of coaching. That was
get
one of
any of
those
that.
was one of those run through the brick
That's not
wall,
true.
and if I don't run through the brick wall, then I ain't playing.
I ain't playing, yeah.
And it's like, shit, I gotta run through this
They
brick
used to pull
wall.
me out of English class and do wall sits and be like, "Yeah, you fucked up that block, right?" Sit down. I was in a full suit, like in front of all my peers and shit like that. I'm like, "Oh man, this is
Yo,
crazy."
so that's a
That's
big
a better
dynamic.
way. I don't know, man. That's just
Kids
the
are sensitive, bro.
That's
It's
the way
not-
you gotta
it's not
run a
how
ball
it-
player.
the
And no,
kids are
like
very
I feel like it's an
sensitive.
outlet. If a kid goes onto the football field, he should be getting his aggressions out on the field instead of leaving school. First of all, he should be tired, leaving school and then going home and acting up in the street. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I feel like that's
what-
an outlet. Same thing with boxing, Muay Thai, whatever.
But I don't think it's acting out in the streets because I don't think that they're built like that anymore. I don't think they're out like he just said. I don't think
Some.
they're outside
Depends where
walking
you're from, I
around
guess,
causing
some.
mayhem.
Yeah.
I just think they're home soaking in their bed in their misery because they're sensitive about a lot of things.
Yeah.
It can't be like that. You
Nah.
know? The world is cruel.
It is.
And it's not going to prep them for life, and it's not going to prep them to go play
And
college
a lot
football.
of people don't want to be
That's-
coached.
And I'll tell you, that's the one thing I learned being at Buffalo, that you will learn politics, bro. Like
Quick.
being in that Division I, that high standard, you want to play in the NFL, you'll learn even coaching. Like I coached at Pace and went to the AFCA, the big coaching convention. What was that, 3 years ago? It was in San Antonio. And when I talk about that's a meat market, you talking about trying to sell yourself and making sure that, you know, you put on the best image of yourself. And I'm talking about in a different dynamic. You trying to really make sure that somebody is looking at you like you're worth every ounce of the time, dollar that they're gonna spend on you, and why? What makes you different as a coach, and what makes you relevant as a coach? That's why I say I learned a lot of things coaching college football as well as coaching high school football, and just being able to play overseas and just learn different. It made me realize, like, there's a lot of dynamics in this world where it's a political game and it's about, you know, who you know and stuff like that. But it's a matter of just, you know, what avenues you trying to go down, and whatever avenues you're trying to go down is you're gonna see a lot of shit, or you're gonna see some things that are beneficial for you. And it's,
I wonder if Favrine, Balkan, and Matone ever got college looks. They had to. Those guys are outstanding.
well, as coaches,
Yeah.
Coach Favrine, yeah, definitely. Coach Favrine was highly sought for a very long time, and I think life dynamic and just coaching teaching in the school system.
He's a history teacher, right?
Yeah. He's so I think that just kind of changes, because it's the same thing like I experienced for the fact of having the opportunity to coach in college. And then just saying to yourself, do you want to be a teacher? Do you want to be a full-time coach, or do you want to work in the school system?
Is that what you're doing right now?
So right now I'm working on finishing up the school my certification test for teaching.
Congratulations.
And that's so it's like I had an opportunity where I could have just said, screw that part of, you know, that path I want to go down and just be a coach when I was at Pace. And I just kind of said, nah, I think the teaching dynamic and being in the high school level,
Close.
I think my experience more so at Buffalo made me want to have this mindset. And I always had this mindset of wanting to coach on the high school level, because kids don't learn what the politics are when you go to that next level. Like, this is the most, and like you said, it's been the best time of your life. High school was the best. It was. Even when I was in high school, it was the best time. It was the best experience, and we had a lot of fun.
Yeah, we did have a lot of fun.
So-
Never mind just football.
We did
Like,
have
that
a lot of
school
fun.
in
We had a lot
general
of
was just
fun.
dope.
So-
Like, we had all our friends there and shit. You know, we were always able to hang out, and I didn't want to leave New Utrecht. Like, I didn't want to go home. I wanted to stay. And I would stay on the field until as late as the day as possible, and I go hang out with my friends a block away. That's why the school was so beautiful. You know what I mean? We used to get punished, and our parents used to tell us you can't go to school. You know, because it was so much fun. You know what I mean?
Shit,
you
I
got
remember
all
the
your
days when you ain't want to be in Utrecht though.
Yeah, well, that's a whole nother.
Utrecht was wild. Bro.
Yeah, Utrecht was
like,
bad at one point.
Utrecht was a wild school.
Yeah, when they didn't have
There's a
no
lot-
lights on the ceiling.
There was a lot when the cafeteria was on
On
the
the
fifth
fifth
floor.
floor.
Oh yeah.
On the fifth floor. That was a
When
that was a gem. That was a hidden gem.
That was.
When I first got into high school, my brother was always telling me stories. It's like just some things that he heard, he's seen back in the day and stuff like that. I'm like, coming out of this school? I'm like, you sure? He's like, you have no idea. He was like, the kids that came out of this school, the fights that used to break out after school. And
I'll tell y'all the illest
gangs.
story about New Utrecht. And I mean, listen, we adults here, so we're going to have some fun. Yo, my freshman year, this might have been like the second week of school, first week of school. Y'all remember how the music room is on the first floor, right?
library,
right?
yeah.
By the library. So, ninth period, freshman year, I got music. I'm like, damn, I got this damn music class. Why am I? Come out the room one day, take the pass. I'm walking up the stairs. I run into somebody. I'm like, yo, what's going on? He's like, yo, the line upstairs. Yo, you got to go upstairs. I'm like, go upstairs on the line. So I'm like, yo. I go upstairs, and there was a line. And I swear to everything I love, there was a line for one girl for giving top. She was giving top to this whole line, and one dude messed up the whole thing for everybody else because he busted her mouth that moment, and the rest of the line couldn't get nothing, and she got pissed off.
Fucked up the routine,
And then,
man.
Yo, I swear to that's what type of school.
Yeah,
Utrecht was
that's
a
what
wild.
Utrecht was wild.
A
That
wild
back
school when
staircase
I was
was
there,
wild.
and I was like. Wow, this
Were you
gonna be
waiting
some
on this
interesting- Nah, I had to go back to class. I had to go back to class. I didn't even know about the line. I had to pass. I went back downstairs, but I was like,
I'm
yo,
not top three. I'm not going.
listen,
That's not for me.
I just know that was Utrecht in a nutshell, and that was my freshman year. This was again, I'm dating myself. This was back in 1999. So I know.
Listen, it didn't get no better in 2000 when I got there.
So I know this. New
Picks for
Utrecht
the
was a
finals
wild-
that year.
Yeah, exactly. That was the only good thing.
That was a wild time, boy. That was a
That
wild
was
time.
wild.
in Utrecht.
Oh, we have plenty of stories, man.
yeah, but you see, it got less and less crazier. There was no lines for top. When we were in school, I mean, there was some crazy shit that happened, but nothing like that.
Shit went down those staircases.
The fifth floor cafeteria, the bathroom. We used to roll dice in there. Yo, Utrecht was a
that
wild-
was
No, we used to do that. We used to play CeeLo.
Utrecht
People get
was a
chased down for
wild-
the money that they didn't want to pay up.
Yeah.
The cafeteria when it was on the fifth floor was the hangout spot.
Yep.
And before school started, school used to start 7:45. So people was in the school 7:30.
Go upstairs,
7:20,
chilling
sit up-
upstairs.
sit up in the
Yeah.
fifth floor. They used to come to school early. Like coming to Atlantic Avenue where the D train came. Well, back in the day, it was split
B.
between the W, the B, the M. So whatever it was, you had Utrecht, Dewey, Lafayette, telecommunication, Fort Hamilton, all coming down at this one train station.
Used to
in the
get
morning
messy
time.
down there, right?
Messy.
Used to get messy down there, right?
Between the fights in the morning, between the gangs and all that stuff, between that, then in the afternoon, they used to skip the train coming from Coney Island and go on an express track because they didn't want us to intertwine. They didn't want Lafayette kids to intertwine with Dewey kids and Dewey kids. So they used to run the trains express sometimes. And
The MTA got note of it.
it used to be crazy.
You don't know the fights we used to get
The
into
fights
Lafayette.
used to come on,
The
the best
no
thing, the
idea.
best fights used to come on the M train because the M train was old school. Like it had the compartment doors where you can kick the doors in and stuff like that. So people used to turn the lights off through the tunnels and stuff like that when they get through the tunnels. Yo, the M train used to have the wickedest fight. When you wanted to have a fight, it was an M train fight. You knew to get on the M train because I seen a 6'4" girl grab the pole, put a foot through another girl's face on the pole. Like those were the type of fights was happening on the M train in back in the day.
Now, what kind of fights do we have on the
Man,
phone?
you might have a
On the phone.
Twitter fight.
I'm gonna bully you
Twitter fight.
online.
I seen some
You
crazy
wait
stuff.
till I see you.
You're not getting
You see it in real life,
close.
nobody says
close
nothing.
to what we
Them
get.
days was like, oh snap, this is what high school is about. Oh, okay.
I loved every second of it though, man. Like,
Yeah,
I got
listen,
excitement like that.
If I can go back, I would 100% go back.
I go to Home
Like-
Depot now, man. I get 4x4s. I don't really do that. I'm just kidding.
That's his day of excitement.
Who was another sick athlete like our senior year? Jaleel Brown. His brother's Troy. Evans.
Oh yeah, Dre Brown. Yeah.
That's the thing
Where'd
about
Julia go? Did he end up going?
that's the thing
Jaleel
about
went
dude.
to a school in West Virginia, Coast. I forgot the name of it. And then left there. He started doing music. So
He's working with his brother.
He was doing music for a little bit.
Really, yeah. I remember my junior year. 'Cause this is what I mean about getting kids from out of the neighborhood. Jaleel was from out of the neighborhood. He was at another high school. And every time we got a kid from another neighborhood, he was filthy. The kid Tyreek came, tackle.
What was
And
his
Jaleel.
name? Yeah, what was the kid's name?
Touchdown Brown, baby.
No, not Touchdown Brown. The kid that we called him Biceps because the kid had the biggest biceps
Kenny.
I've ever
Kenny,
seen in
yeah,
my life.
another kid that was
and
nasty.
He left,
Oh,
remember?
Kenny. I remember Kenny.
Kenny,
Yeah.
yeah.
Remember strong? I remember Kenny. Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But
999.
Kenny had the
Yeah.
genetics of a 32-year-old man.
Kenny
He
was
was
a beast,
fucking
bro.
14.
Kenny was a beast.
He was huge.
But my junior year, it was the last game of the year. We sucked that year for whatever reason. It was that in between year, and then we were good my senior. But we were 0-8, and we were playing FDR, and we won that game. But then Jaleel came in for a run.
Oh, that was that fucking shit bowl.
Yo,
That's what we called it.
The toilet bowl.
Yeah, that's what we called it.
17 people, like he was in a pile of them, and somehow, some way, spun out of it. And then that was like the last play of the year. And then we sat there, we're like, oh shit, we're gonna be good next year. You know what I mean? Like, yeah,
Like, keep this kid here, please.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
What
He
he
was
wants.
transferred like mid-season.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
That's like my
Francis.
junior year. Yeah, that's like my junior year going into my senior year when we so my junior year we were supposed to be good and we didn't have we had a what was like 4 and 5, 4 and 6 or something like that.
Yeah, it was a lost
We ended up it was a lost season, but we were supposed to and everything. So the next year we knew we was gonna be good. Like we had everybody coming back. So we like, all right, we gonna be good. And we get a transfer from Ehor, Noel Francis. My man, shout out. 2 tokens, shout out.
Yo.
So he
heard
came
about
through.
Noel
This kid is
Francis.
fast. Florida fast. He was from Florida fast. So now we get him off season. We like, yo, problems. We gonna be problems. That's the first time we did Big Apple.
Yeah.
The first we had
At
for
Lincoln.
Hamilton.
Yeah, for Hamilton. Yep.
So we do it for Hamilton. We over there, we grinding. We get to the first game of the season, and I always say Coach Boken and what's his name? The Mayo.
The Mayo, yeah.
Yeah. So they clashing, and it killed us that first game because we go to play poly prep in a non-league game and get smashed. But mind you, the whole New York City is there for us.
Yeah.
They like,
Yup.
yo, we supposed to be the team this year.
Yep.
We come back the next week, we play South Shore. We win the first game, and then we go and we lose to. We played the top 3 teams. We played
Was Kennedy?
no, and Kenny, Sheepshead Bay, Fort Hamilton, and Curtis. We played all 3 of those teams back to back weeks.
Wow.
So we play Curtis. No, we play Sheepshead Bay. No, South Shore. My fault.
Yeah.
We played South Shore. Then we beat South Shore. Then we played Curtis.
No, Curtis was the 3rd game of the season.
No, Curtis was
Yeah.
it was for Hamilton. It was for my fault. So
No,
we
you
mixed it up.
got benched in Curtis. They benched you for
Yeah.
No,
we got a good story.
there's
We got a
story
great
for that
story
one.
about that.
No, the story for that one.
about that.
No, the story for that one.
Oh no! So it was Sheep. No, it was Sheepshead
the
Bay,
second
then
game,
Curtis.
yes.
All right. So Sheepshead Bay, play Sheepshead Bay. We lose that game. Play Curtis. We lose that game.
Why'd you
and then
get
we come
benched?
back. I'm gonna tell you that story. We played Fort Hamilton. We lose that game, and then God rest his soul. My man TJ passed away. My man TJ got murdered, and then we went on like a 6-game winning streak.
Yep.
And
That
went
got to the
playoffs.
playoffs in the second round.
Got to the playoffs in the second round and they lost to Sheepshead. But the benching thing was, so shout out to Coach Boken. I love you.
He thought
always.
he was hot shit. That's why he got benched.
So I was Michael Vick before Michael Vick in high school, right? So y'all gotta understand. So my senior year, I'm like, yo, ain't nobody about to screw this year up. So I'm doing my own thing in a perspective. Like, I'm the quarterback. I'm that dude. I'm gonna carry this team. So we get a new coach, DeMayo. He wants to run this wax run and shoot offense that he
Fucking
so-called
duo.
say he mastered at Wagner or whatever.
Mastered it.
Coach Boken agrees to it. Coach Boken rides with it. I'm telling Coach Boken, no, this ain't it. Coach Boken ain't hearing it. So we go through the poly. This is why I say they sabotaged Sabotaged the poly prep game, I feel like, because they didn't go into it like thinking we could beat them. Went into respecting poly prep 2 name off the name. Did that. South Shore, we went to a fight with South Shore for no reason. And then we go to Sheepshead Bay. We should be fighting with Sheepshead Bay, but not to that point. So we lose Sheepshead Bay. So all of a sudden now I get the blame for saying I'm trying to sabotage the season because I'm trying to do my own thing and not care about the team. And it's like, bro, really? I'm not trying to do that. All I'm trying to do is be the dude that I'm supposed to be. Everybody's telling me I'm the dude. I got to play like the dude. So I'm putting a lot of pressure on myself and trying to perform. So whatever I may be doing wrong, it may be the pressure or whatever it is. Yeah. So he goes around and Coach Bogan was like, you know what? I agree. He's trying to sabotage. So I get benched. Going into the Curtis game. We playing Curtis.
Oh, God.
The most talented team in the city that year. Yeah. And I'm going like, yo, so you're going to bench me, the quarterback. All right, cool. So guess what the team do? The team rebels and doesn't try to go out there and play hard.
Negative 99 yards.
The line
for the
doesn't block for Kelly.
Okay. All right.
The line doesn't block for Kelly. Nobody plays for Kelly. So all this is going
Kelly.
So Mike Kelly. So nobody plays. So nobody plays. Nobody plays for him.
Before the game even starts, our running back and him are getting ready to go to fight.
Him and Noel.
In pregame.
Beefing.
In pregame.
Because everybody pissed off that they benched me.
Yeah.
So now I only get benched on offense. I play defense though. So we get smacked that game. Boom. We get smacked. Next week.
That was the angriest I ever seen balking in my life.
So we
paid for it on Monday.
Oh, that was the illest punishment. If you ever did, how long is the field? 130.
The worms, right? Every 5.
We did the back of the end zone to the goal line, and we did every 5 yards of the field. We did the snake. That was our punishment the Monday.
2 hours.
And all we did was get cursed out and talked about as the worst kids ever.
Fucking quit. You don't fucking belong here. Fuck you. So you want to fuck with me?
So then we play for Hamilton that weekend. So beginning of that game, 18 zips. We spot them. Just give them 18. Just order off rip. They 18 zip up on us. We go to halftime. We hear the coaches cursing in the office, going back and forth. Coach Boken come out the office. Sears, you starting second half. I was like, thank God, man. Like, what y'all doing? Come back out. We go on defense first. We stop them 3 and out. Come back. We get the ball. First play of the game. First play of the second half. Offense. 90-yard touchdown runs. Bye-bye. That's what type of vibe it was on. And I told him
that's it. You on a roll at that point.
And then after that, that's how the season went. So it was like, yo, come on, let me live up to the billing that I had. But like it just wasn't happening in the beginning of the season.
That team should have won.
And that team was talented. And that team was.
But because of all the stuff that was going on with coaches,
that team was a very talented team.
Oh God!
Like my senior year team was super. Like Coach, if you ever ask Coach Boken like in his time, like who's the most talented team that ever came around, he always say that team was like top to bottom.
And the 07 team.
07, I heard about
07. He always says the 07 team challenge, but that team.
That's like Alex Warden, Frank Sinagua.
That was the team that went to the semifinals.
Yeah,
Larry.
Larry. Yeah.
So my team,
they lost to Curtis.
They lost to Curtis.
I lost to Curtis.
Yeah, they lost to Curtis. We lost to Sheepshead. No, we lost to Sheepshead. We lost to Sheepshead in the playoffs. But
they're not even good now.
No, they actually are. They're not.
They're good this year.
Like I say, the school structures doesn't make schools stand out no more like how it used to.
Yeah.
So like these schools are broken down. And you forget that, like, their name is like Frank Machado or something like that. It's not
even. Well, same thing kind of with Lafayette, right? Lafayette.
Yeah, they broke it down.
So the athletes are not going in no more. That's what I'm saying. Like, there's no structure for PSAL sports. Like the school entity and the sports entity is two different things. So it's like it's not beneficial to student athletes if you go to a school that's not good.
Yeah.
So like schools like Lafayette are going to have a struggle no matter how much whatever the coach does because the school entity is destroyed.
Yeah.
It makes it hard for them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's crazy how fast that hour just passed, gentlemen.
That was an hour.
That was an hour.
Are you fucking kidding me?
That was an hour. One last question I got to ask you guys, man. Let's send out a message to the program. What's our 4-year goal here? We seeing a championship in the Utrecht's future?
What you got?
Adam, this is going to be posted, man. Say something about it.
You want me to be nice.
Say I take it out to challenges to any parents and student athletes. If you really want to be at a top-notch program and you want real coaching, I say, New Utrecht is the place to go.
Utrecht's
Figure it
the
out
one.
how to get there. And I say in the next 4 years, honestly, I think Coach Wendell is going to do his thing. I think if you give him in that next 4-year window, I think there's going to be some noise. Just put it like that. It's going to be some noise.
Well,
I think we'll get back to where we were in 2019.
Yeah, back in I think the old
when we were
school
undefeated
dynamic
also,
of getting kids in the building and people having that exposure and wanting to come out that side of town. I think it'll be creative.
I love it, man. I love it. You know, I really appreciate you guys coming by. The differences that you make in kids' lives, which you made in our lives, you know, that we could give back a little bit, that you guys could show up and have this conversation. It's really special to us, man.
absolutely.
We appreciate you guys for real.
Appreciate this.
And that's a
Appreciate
wrap.
this opportunity.
It's a wrap.
Thank you.
That was really an hour?
That was an hour.
That's good.
Thanks for tuning in to Intentionally Unintelligent. We hope you enjoyed our dive into the unfiltered and raw stories of today's movers and shakers. If you loved what you heard, be sure to subscribe, rate, and leave a review on your favorite podcast platform. Until next time, keep it real, keep it raw, and stay intentionally unintelligent.